Welcome back to the Ed Show. Well, the National Rifle Association is hell-bent on selling a botched gun-running program as a left-wing plot intended to take away your firearms. And it looks like the NRA's snow job is going to get a boost from some House Democrats who are pretty nervous. The gun lobby represents just a fraction of gun owners in this country, but it is politically positioned to put pressure on Democrats to hold Attorney General Eric Holder in contempt of Congress. The NRA is ready to exert its political power to intimidate a whole host of Democrats. The organization says it will track how members vote tomorrow. I say, so what? So far, 4 Democrats are willing to cave to the NRA's power. The 4 have received endorsements from the group in the past, and according to OpenSecrets.org, all 4 have accepted donations from the NRA. Now, the NRA has been setting the stage for months. The NRA president, Wayne LaPierre, was out peddling the conspiracy theory that the Fast and Furious program was designed to restrict gun laws back in October.
The president and the attorney general and the secretary of state would all be running around going 90% of the guns come from America in an attempt to seek political advantage and in an attempt to enact more gun control laws on honest American citizens and use this whole issue politically against the Second Amendment in the United States.
That is so alien to the truth. That's his opinion. He has no facts to back that up. Congressman Darrell Issa followed suit at the NRA convention in April.
This administration has trampled on the Constitution, on the First Amendment, on religious rights, and if you don't think that this Fast and Furious and things like it are the beginning of an attack in a second term on the Second Amendment, you really haven't evaluated this president.
Just red meat to the head-shaking crowd. The fact of the matter is President Obama has relaxed gun laws in this country, yet the NRA is so anti-Obama it doesn't matter what the guy does. They are going to attack him any way they can. And now they've managed to get members of his own party to throw the country's first black attorney general under the bus. And with an election just months away, many of these Democrats are afraid of that 30-second commercial that might show up in their backyard. Democrats willing to stand up to the right-wing fear-mongering have a very simple message to share with their constituents. Here it is. I'm not going to vote for contempt, and I'm not going to take away your firearms. That's all they have to say, and stick with the truth. For those 4 Democrats to turn, and there may be more, it's an abomination of government in this country. I'm joined by Jonathan Alter tonight, MSNBC political analyst and Bloomberg View economist, and Democratic strategist Bob Shrum with us tonight. Jonathan, what can we expect from Democrats in tomorrow's vote? How many do you think will turn on the Attorney General and the President?
Well, the indications are 5 of them, but, they should really be ashamed of themselves. Ed, if you read this article in Fortune, it is an astonishing piece of journalism, and what it tells you is that everything that everybody thinks they know about this case is untrue, and they nail it. There actually was never any gun walking program to start with. It's hard to believe, but when you read the piece, I really urge viewers to read this article. So what's happened here is you have a committee chairman who is basically Joe McCarthy on steroids, who will twist any fact, bend any piece of information he can to try to destroy the Attorney General and the president and to get himself in the headlines. I don't say that lightly. I think you know me well enough to know that I'm not a bomb thrower. But this is really disgusting. And we need somebody like a Joseph Welch in the McCarthy era to say, have you no sense of decency, Mr. Chairman? Presidents have been invoking executive privilege for years. Ronald Reagan did it 6 times. I didn't see them saying that his EPA, which did it, should be held in contempt. This is a witch hunt of the first order, and Democrats need to stand up and oppose it, and those who don't should be ashamed of themselves.
Bob Shrum, Peter Welch, congressman from Vermont, told me today that he was surprised at how many members in Congress don't even have all the facts on Fast and Furious, and some of them haven't even been paying attention to this, and they're ready to vote on contempt?
Well, look, a party that has trafficked in death panels, fellow traveler with the birthers, I don't think they care much about facts. And, Issa is a clown, in my view. He's a dangerous clown, but he's a clown. And what he offered there was not an opinion. It was a lie. The fact of the matter, Jonathan's absolutely right. If you read that Fortune magazine article, what's being alleged here is wrong. In terms of the NRA, there was never any connection with this program with gun control. In fact, it started under the Bush administration, all these kinds of programs, and that administration was not exactly for gun control.
What role does the president play in this and talking to his party members in the House so they get their heads screwed on right about this? Does he play any role at all?
I don't know that the president's going to be very persuasive with some of these guys from West Virginia, this guy Matheson from Utah. But John Dingell, who's the dean of the House and who's always stood with the NRA, had the decency today to get up and to say, I'm not voting for this. It's out of bounds. This is an improper investigation. Look, if the NRA really cared about gun walking, which didn't happen here, but really cared about gun walking, guns getting into the hands of drug dealers, then they wouldn't be stopping background checks at gun shows, because an awful lot of guns walk out of those gun shows.
Jonathan, what is the political fallout of this?
Well, it'll be overshadowed by the healthcare business tomorrow, and I'm not sure that long-term there's a huge amount of fallout, except that for people who care to take the time to look, we have a House of Representatives that's in the grip of extremists.
Yep.
And this is not something that's really happened a lot in our history.
What would you compare it to?
We're in new territory here. Well, the historians, the congressional historians, they don't really find any precedent for this kind of behavior in the House. And there's been a lot of awful stuff in the House over the years. You had people beating each other over the head just before the Civil War. But this kind of using the apparatus of committee investigations to basically make stuff up. That's what's going on here.
I'm amazed at how intimidated they are by the National Rifle Association. I mean,
that's been going on for a long time.
It's been going on for a long time, but this is such a clear-cut opportunity to tell them to go stick it. I mean,
well, why? But they don't want to tell them to stick it because they take their marching orders.
So what they would do would be,
God forbid that one of these Democratic congressmen got an A- instead of an A+ on the NRA scorecard. Why not? Why even be in office if you don't think a little bit independently? If you just take your marching orders from some interest group.
Bob, go ahead.
That's the fundamental bottom line here. I mean, I understand some of these guys come from difficult places where the NRA has a lot of power, but at a certain point, you have to take your oath of office seriously. And what's happened here, the NRA should change its name to the National Republican Auxiliary. And they're not the auxiliary of the Republican Party that we used to know. They're the auxiliary of an extremist Republican Party. Jonathan's right. I mean, you can compare this to Joe McCarthy. Some people in the Senate were scared of him, but the whole Senate wasn't as crazy as this House of Representatives is.
Jonathan Alter, Bob Shrum, great to have you with us tonight. Thanks so much. Coming up, a U.S. congressman is using Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez to make a point about immigration. The stars are part of a pop quiz. We'll put you to the test next. And 80 million Americans believe in UFOs. But they don't have much faith in Mitt Romney when it comes to alien invasions. That pretty much covers it all, doesn't it? We'll show you some out-of-the-world poll numbers. Stay tuned.